So welcome to the next instalment of Mozza versus. Really excited for this one. We're at a venue that's totally different from the venues we've fished so far, and that venue being Trent View Fishery. Around about 28 acres in size this place, and there's over 2,000 carp that live in here. And I've already got the upper hand because a lot of the fish are mega scaly, and my competitor for this one doesn't catch scaly ones. So I might have given it away there, but it is the ground shaker, Tom Maker. So I'm definitely going to be up against it with Tom. Obviously, he goes out, catches fish on a daily because he fishes every single day. That is the only reason why he catches so many. His child doesn't even know who he is anymore. Is that all right, Thomas? Mummy, who is that man? That's your dad. Oh dear. We can leave that in, can't we? So he's fished the odd match. He's managed to get on the podium for the BCAC. Whether that's an achievement or not, who knows? But he's 2 times European champion, where Bart's only 1-time champion. So he's definitely got the upper hand on Bartlett there for sure. What else has he won? Well, if there was a linear cup, he'd probably win that as well, to be honest. So it is Mr. Tom Maker. He's caught plenty of fish, and I'm going to be up against it on this one.
Well, it was always going to happen. I'm going to have to fish with Mozza at some point, and it looks like now is my time. I've never been to Trent View before. Really looking forward to it, and as Mozza has already pointed out, I am on the bank 5 days a week. I do tuitions, out doing them quite a lot, so this one for Mozza, he's quite grateful because he's saving himself quite a bit of money. I do the carp coach as well, so really I should be showing Mozza a thing or two, but there is more to Mozza than just standing in a boat for 2 weeks at Rainbow and filming with a pair of video glasses, and he is quite deadly behind a couple of rods, so you know, it isn't a walk in the park. Nothing's going to say I'm going to absolutely club him, although like Harry and Bart already have, I would like to do that as well. But for now, we're here, we're going to have a flip for the swim, who's going to have what side, and we're going to get fishing.
So in true Mozza fashion, we're going to do rock, paper, scissors for who goes on the left and who goes on the right of the swim. I've got the advantage here though.
Yes.
Tom doesn't know how to play rock, paper, scissors.
I never done it. I never.
What? You've never even well,
no.
You never
I never
a child to teach.
So even she can't teach me from nursery. Anyway, show me how to do it, come on.
Right, okay, well, so all you do is just do that every time.
Right, okay.
All right, okay?
Right, okay.
And I'll win.
Right, okay.
Right, okay, so rock, paper, scissors. That's scissors. Okay?
Yeah.
That's a rock.
Yeah.
And that's paper.
So what's what then?
Okay. What do you mean what's what?
Well, how does what beat what?
So what we do is we go rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Right.
And then you choose whether you're going to do scissors, rock or paper. And I'll tell you which one wins. I'm not going to explain it.
Yeah, but how do I know you're not pulling my leg?
Because
there's clearly a lot more fish on one side of the peg than the other.
Right, so, Jesus. Right, so rock,
yeah. Okay,
paper would win over rock.
Why?
Because paper smothers a rock.
But if you dropped a rock on the paper, it'd flatten the paper.
How long have the viewers got here? This is going to take a while. Okay.
Right, so the paper smothers the rock.
The paper smothers the rock, so
but the scissors cut the paper.
Yeah, but the scissors cut the paper and the rock smashes the scissors.
Right, okay. Makes it blunt the scissors.
Blunt the scissors.
Right, let's go.
Right, you ready? So it's rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Right, ready?
Right, okay, ready? Are you ready? Tense music started.
Go.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. You were a bit delayed there,
yeah, I know.
Thomas.
Well, I see what you've done.
This is great banter. It really is.
If this don't work, would you have to flip a coin?
No, Tom, this is going to work.
So what's that, a draw?
That is a draw.
It's best of 3.
Best of 3. Right,
ready?
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Damn!
What's that mean?
1-0 to you.
Is it?
Yes. Oh, right.
So what? Right, go. Ready?
Get him deciding what he's going to go on next.
Ready?
Ready?
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Yes.
That's 1-1.
Yes. Come on.
Ready?
Oh, it's tense.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Yeah!
Lee's going to go on the right hand side because all the fish have been crashing on the right hand side of the peg. What side are you going on, Lee?
No, well, I'm going to wait to decide.
What, till one shows?
Yeah, I'm going to wait to decide.
This could
there's
be,
one, I'm going to go
this
on
could
the
be
right.
Lee's first victory.
There's one.
No, let's not make excuses. Let's do it. Good luck, Lee.
And you do.
Let's do it.
It's going to teach you a thing or two. So swim choice wise then, we've basically gone on the biggest peg on the lake and we're in pegs 16 and 17. It's a double peg, so nice and comfortable for me and Tom. Watercraft wise though, we've basically gone where it's warm, on the back of the wind. Don't want to be fishing up there, it's freezing cold. So luckily for me, I'm on the right hand side. We have seen a fair few fish show out there, and as well, we've got a pylon dead opposite and that splits the swim in half nicely. So Tom's on the left and there's a few anglers to his left-hand side, which I'm hoping is going to ruin his fishing for him. But nonetheless, there's plenty of fish in here to be caught and I'm really hoping me and Tom can get amongst them. So Tom,
Yes.
it wouldn't be Mozza Versus without giving you a lucky charm.
God, go on.
Are you ready? Now, a man of your stature,
Yeah.
it took me weeks to track this thing down.
Right.
Are you ready?
Go on. That'd be
Ready?
worth it.
Are you ready?
I'll wear it.
Pow! No.
What's this, a resemblance?
I'm not being a fattest or
What, have
nothing.
you like,
no,
is he singling out? Is he singling out?
Right. It's because he talks like you, Tom.
Oh, right.
It's got
What,
nothing to do
can't
with
understand
his stature or anything. I want to see him by your rods. Don't lose him. It took me weeks to
I
track
won't lose it.
that down.
Hopefully the wind blows. Hopefully the wind will blow him in.
But no, peg him down or something.
He's actually got a hook in us, so I could.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll hook him on a zig and chuck him out.
I want to see him out by your rods every time you go.
I'll pin him down by the rods.
Good.
I'll put some pegs over his legs.
The very best of luck to
Peg
you,
leg.
mate.
Good luck, Mozza.
Cheers, Dave.
Where's he got this from? Should tie off right, to be fair. Yeah. Just get a half inch on him. You're good to go, him, look.
It was this big. It was this big. I was going to order a blobby suit, and at the end,
It was
just
this
come
big. Right, is he set then? We happy with him there?
In. He's sound. He's sound.
He's fishing. Come on then, let's get the rods out. It's quite apparent that with the weather that we've got, it's mega high pressure, it's really warm. That zigs are probably going to be the way forward. Now, I've never been here before. I know from speaking to a couple of lads before we come that, excuse me in the background, that it's actually quite a deep lake, so obviously finding the depth is going to be quite crucial. Apparently there's a bit of a slope out there where it just like tapers off into the deeper water, so I'm going to have a little lead around, mainly just to find the depth of the zig really. I'm not overly fussed about putting a lot of bait out just yet, and like, I reckon Lee will do the same. Like, there isn't really any secrets. What was that? Was that a fly? You know, the swivel spun. Just like that again.
No, keep going.
So yeah, basically I'm going to put my sticks in the ground, 12 foot apart, chuck my float out, hopefully find the sort of range that I'm happy to fish, and then yeah, find the depth and go from there. And if I catch one on a zig at a certain depth, then I just won't say anything to Lee. He's keeping it quite secretive what he's doing, and I reckon he knows more about this lake than what he's letting on. He reckons he doesn't know anything about it, but I know for a fact he's been here at least once, and he seems to have already clipped his rods up before he started, and he's already tied his zigs. So, clutch is going.
Clutch is going, Tom. Clutch is going. Right, so just rechucked on the spot and kept the rod higher than what I was doing. I was dragging the rod down low which is what you would normally do if you had a bare lead on, but it's a lot better with these grappling leads if you keep the rod up high, because what you'll find is that ends up digging into whatever's on the bottom. So keeping it up at an angle, that allows it to drag across gravel or silt, or obviously weed, with the 2 prongs sat at the bottom. And I've just chucked it back out there, dragged it back with the rod up high, and it's tapped along the gravel nice and cleanly, and it hasn't picked up any silkweed. So that is a prime spot for a stiff hook link, which is what I like using on my 360 rig. So I know now that spot at 21.5 wraps that is nice and clear. I can put a fluorocarbon rig over the top of that. Ideal.
Because of the length of zigs that we're using, we've decided that we're just going to chuck our rods out in turn rather than trying to get it all done at once and rushing to get them out, because it's just more aggro than it's worth. Long zigs of a few people moving through the swim is just a recipe for disaster. So this one I've got 19.5 feet. I've got the lead, exactly the same drop as what I'd normally have, regardless of what rig I've got on the end. Hook bait's in my hand, the peg ears, got a little bit of bark in it, but nothing really to worry about when it comes to masting the hook. Making sure it's not wrapped around anything. Flicking the hook bait out like so. Like I say, the drop on the lead's perfect. Just opening the bail on there, just checking, and then I'm literally gonna chuck it, not think about the zig, and obviously just before it hits the water, trapping it to separate the lead from the zig. So here goes nothing. Just lining it up, and just do a nice steady cast out there, and then just trapping it. And then waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for the lead to hit the bottom. And that's it. You'll go, Mozza.
Oh, you... I swear I took that off. I must have had 2 clips on. Right, take 2. It's doubled. If you've got 2 clips on your reel, make sure you check both of them. Jesus, right.
Nothing to report as of yet. I've still got the same length zigs that I chucked out when I first put them out. Yeah, other than that, it's a bit, it's a bit bland really.
What you said to me?
I wonder what that was poking me in the back. Yeah, I've got the same length zigs on that I started with, so I reckon a rechuck will be in order in a bit. Looking around the lake, no one else has had anything. There was a fish out before we actually started, fishing ourselves. So they're in the general area. A good sign that I've noticed is there is quite a few grebes sort of in the middle of the lake, which going on sort of what I already know about the birds following the fish around, and if it rings true for the lakes I normally go to, then I shouldn't imagine that this would be any different. So yeah, there's birds out in front of us, the rigs are out there, the zigs are up to where I think the fish will be. So I don't think it's gonna, hopefully it's gonna be long. I'm confident of a bite. It's always getting that first bite from a new water, even when you're fishing something like this and on a lake that is renowned for doing a few bites. I think once you can see that bobbin moving for the first time, yeah, confidence will be sky high. So it's only early, and yeah, Mozza should start worrying, I suppose.
So this is my rig. This is how it works. Update time then, and we're a couple of hours in and not a lot's happened, unfortunately, at the moment. And it's that niggling thing on my shoulder of using something that I'm not used to using, sort of thing, you know, which was my downfall when I faced Harry, using solid bags. Again, something that I don't use. So using these zigs, although I do use zigs, but I don't use them at these sort of depths, you know, ridiculous depths like 17, 18 feet, which if you're fishing on your own I wouldn't advise doing, because obviously you wouldn't be able, should I say, you wouldn't be able to land a fish using such, you know, a long zig, because soon as the leg clip gets to the tip eye, you're never going to get them in the net. So because me and Tom are obviously fishing together, if Tom gets one, I'll be able to land it for him, and vice versa. We're contemplating using perhaps a third rod. It's big enough swim for the pair of us to chuck out a third rod, so we might do that. I've put a bit of bait out at the moment over to the right hand side, so I've got a spot sorted out for that if we decide to put a third rod out, which we might do a little later on. But in the meantime, we're gonna sit behind the rods, see if one of these zigs flies off. There's not a lot else happening around the pond at the moment. You know, it seems very, very quiet, but I'm still hopeful that, you know, either one of us or one of them rods that's down there is going to rip off sometime soon.
Something you wanted, and there's no doubt you might be wrong. Walked away from something you left behind. Another borderline.
I had a little chat with the bailiff before, just before I went round and got my food, and he did say that they put quite a lot of feed bait in here. They haven't actually started putting any in yet because it's still a little bit too cold, so I've decided to sort of up the amount of bait that I've put in hope that they might sort of be led into the fact that they might be thinking that that's the free bait going out. So I put a fair bit of bait out. Yeah, and I don't really know what else to do, to be honest. So Lee's done the same. Yeah, there isn't really a lot else to say other than the fact that this is absolutely amazing. Lee's acting like an idiot behind the camera. My spod's landed better than Lee's, my rod's landed better than Lee's. But you know what it's like, a lucky pub chuck and he'll be away. So yeah, hopefully that the fish decide to eat on a nice presented bed of bait rather than a, well, to be fair, they could feed anywhere from about 25 yards to about 80 yards where Lee's fishing. Yeah, hopefully we're not kept awake with liners all night. That's all I can say, but yeah. I've got my Chinese, Lee's waiting for his kebab. And let's just hope the fish fancy a little feed up themselves.
There we go, little Tom Maker starter. That's literally just for starters. That'd be gone in a mouthful if it was Tom. He'd just tip them up like that. That'd be gone, like a drink. Yeah, ideal. Got hot sauce in there, mayonnaise in there. Oh God, I've got to stop talking, carry on eating. Tom's just eating his Chinese and he's already dribbling over my food.
I can barely breathe. Just washing it down for a nice,
healthy Coke.
Fresh protein shake. I'm not sure what time of the, I'm assuming it's morning. It is. I'll probably look a little bit ropey, but yeah, into the first one. It's been a bit of a long time coming, this one, but it's off. So I'm going to concentrate because it's not that far out and we've got 6 rods out in this peg and I don't really want to cause any dramas, so I'm hopefully Gonna guide him into the net. Mozza's gonna have to come and give me a hand to net it, because this one's on a zig. And judging by the depth of water we got out there, at some point it goes from 22 foot up to a couple of foot, so there's obviously quite a bit of a ledge out there as well. So I don't want to, the lead will have dropped off with a bit of luck. So I'm hoping the fish is going to come up into the water and avoid that. It's looking like it's coming in. A bit of luck. There he goes.
Yes, Tubby T.
First one. Well, that's a result. I'm a lot happier than what it would appear that I'm probably looking, but yeah, what a result, first one. There's another angler over there with his light on, so maybe this is a little bit of a feeding spell, who knows. Moz is obviously in there looking exactly what it was on.
Nice.
That's all right, I'm here to help the less fortunate. Yeah.
Oh, dude. He's
First
lovely, mate, him.
And there's some frost on the mat, so it's a winter capture.
God, it's freezing,
I
isn't
know.
it?
Apart from trying to regain consciousness because of how freezing cold I am. So I just had that one on the zig, and that's my only rod on the zig, so if I was fishing in a normal situation now, I'd probably be unhooking that fish, having a photograph and going back to bed, but seeing as it's life and death, I've made the conscious effort to tie another zig up to bring in one of the rods off the bottom and put two out on there. So the fish is still in the net. I've quickly whipped up another one, and I'm going to fire this out. We bring one of them rods in quickly and fire this one out and get two out there. I'm a little bit lost for direction at night because the pylon that we was actually aiming to, I can't see it, so hopefully they don't go into Mozza's water, but
Yeah.
he can't cast as far as me anyway, so it's untouched water in front of his peg. So I might as well make use of it if he's not.
Look at that, Mr. Blobby zeroed the sling better than Bart did.
$15.7.
Yeah, man.
My first Trent View carp, and the first one of the match so far. 15-pound, 7-ounce linear, taken on a zig, and it's literally just getting light now. I had this one about 1:45, 10 to 5. Been out there all night, and it just ripped off out the blue.
Oh.
Mozza's quickly followed suit and changed over. Can't blame him really. It's obviously quite apparent that the fish are going to be up in the water, especially with the high pressure. So yeah, first one, 15.7. Hopefully there's time for one or two more. Be nice to get a few more. The fish in here are absolutely stunning. But for now, £15.7 on the scoreboard.
Blobby!
The fish started crashing it a little bit further than what maybe I was fishing last night, so I've put a bigger lead on and I've given it a bit of a blast out there, and it's been out there about an hour. But I tell you, it's absolutely freezing. This one's cutting all the way over there, isn't it?
I find it best if you point the rod straight at it, Tom, and just give it the odd jolt sort of thing, and that normally helps me out.
I ain't got 50. I ain't got £50 braid on, and we ain't at Rainbow.
I'm hoping it falls off.
Right, I can see that the leg clip's out the water now. It looks as though there's, to me, like something caught up the line. Oh no.
Lively him, isn't he? Ready?
Right, I'm behind you now.
Yeah, man. Nice.
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 Well, I might live in the same postcode area as Bart, but I'm certainly not the same as him when it comes to weighing a carp. Flashing on the 0, nicely zeroed up. Let's get the fish out and see what it weighs. It looks like it could be a little bit bigger than the other one. Lovely, lovely clean stamp of fish in here. So pop him down. Let's go get him. Let's see what he goes. I think he's a little bit bigger than the last one. The last one was 15.7. Check all his pecs. There we go. Brad can read it out.
17.6.
Lovely. £17, 6 ounces of Zig Court mirror. You off the bottom, Moz?
Yeah.
Can result that.
Wow, this is a turn up for the books, something you don't see often. So we're literally just about to film Tom's fish. And yeah, right-hander's gone. Which is ideal because this is what I love doing, is fishing on the bottom, 360 rigs, and not having a whack just ridiculous sized zigs into the horizon sort of thing. Yeah, I don't think it's massive, this one. He did a lot of head banging when he was out in the water, which is a giveaway sign that, you know, that he wasn't very big, you know. It's quite an erratic fish, to be honest. But they do fight well in here. Oh, he's a scaly.
A bit bigger than the one I've had, I reckon that is. Yeah, fish in it, Moz.
Come on, the scaly. Milky malt hanging out the chops.
Plug.
And in the net.
Yes!
Yes! Mozza's on the board.
Finally.
Woohoo!
So
Cheers,
I shake Lee's hand and say well done, like not like him with me, you know, he just went into his bivvy all bitter.
Shut up, Thomas. I'll give it the nice.
Carp coach ain't bitter.
Carp coach ain't bitter.
There we go, another stunning Trent View mirror carp. This one taken on a zig, exactly the same length as the one that I caught the first fish on. 17 pound, 5 ounces, absolutely stunning. Clean fish, fought really hard, had a little bit of difficulties with it, getting caught behind something when I first hooked into the fish, but yeah, a little bit of careful planning and I soon got him in the net. But since this one, Mozza's gone and bagged himself one, so it's now 2-1. So it's nice because it's, you know, I didn't want it to be sort of one way or the other, like Mozza catching loads or me catching loads. It's nice to have a nice fair match, both get a few fish, and at the end of the day, as long as we both go and we both caught a few fish, then I'm more than happy. So there you go. Oh, Moz had a beep then, look at that. Lovely clear water. It's nice to be able to put a fish back and be able to see it swim back. Normally it's like dropping them into the old... Well, I say it's nice to see it. I don't normally see it.
Do it, Tom.
It was £4 too.
Bosh.
That's it.
Bart's never seen that before.
No. What, the scales or weighing a fish?
Bit of both.
Right, what you want to do now, right?
Right, what do I need to do, Tom?
Get the fish.
Oh, right, okay.
bit of weight. What we're giving
12.4.
it? No.
What?
Lift it back up. It wasn't 12.4.
It was.
You shook it. I'll determine the weight of this fish. Hold it there a bit longer. 12.3.
All right. I'll take that. I'll take the ounce. God, am I pleased to at least get on the board, but even more pleased with how beautiful this carp looks. Absolutely mega he is. He is an awesome looking carp. And yeah, it was nice to actually catch one off the bottom like I elaborated on whilst playing this fish. And it would be lovely if I can get another one just to increase that weight and get on Tom's tail a little bit more. But yeah, in the meantime, I'm absolutely buzzing that I haven't blanked. I'm going to get this one back and fingers crossed catch a few more. Yes! Wicked. So you would have seen that Tom has obviously had a couple of fish on zigs, but we always wonder, you know, what zigs, you know, with the colours and stuff like that, what they look like when they're out in the water. Well, fortunately for us, we've managed to draft in Blob Hughes to go and have a look.
With a fair chop on the water and the zig sitting roughly a foot below the surface, the zig was leaning over slightly in the same direction as the wind. Now, having only dived over zigs before on flat, calm days, this was something I'd never experienced before. The amount this actually affects how high your zig sits in the water is negligible, but it certainly was an interesting find.
So sun is nice and high in the sky at the minute, burning my face, and I'm really happy I've managed to put fish on the board, luckily. Me and Tom went to bed last night really dejected that neither of us had caught anything. We were contemplating a move. Obviously, we'd set our alarms for early in the morning, about 5 o'clock I believe, and if we didn't have anything by sort of 6 or 7 o'clock, we were going to get on our toes and move round to the opposite side where we saw the fish showing late last night. But that hasn't happened, thank God. Tom had that bite this morning at about 4:45 I believe it was, just before his alarm went off, and yeah, spirits were high from that point on. Then he obviously had another bite after that, and shortly after that I managed to get one as well. So yeah, spirits are really high in the swim at the moment. Tom's still got one on the bottom, 2 on the zigs, and I'm doing exactly the same. Got 2 on the zigs and 1 on the bottom. Contemplating whether to put another one on the bottom, perhaps on the baited area, I don't know. Me and Tom said that, you know, we thought we'd scared them maybe with spodding over here. There's a lot of bait boats out in the water, and yeah, perhaps they're not used to guys spodding over the winter, and maybe we scared them off yesterday when we were spodding. But they've come back this morning. I've had one on the spot. I'm contemplating whether to put another one on the spot. Don't know, just, you know, bide my time a little bit, see how I feel. But yeah, spirits are ultra high. Ultra high, wow.
A totally random bite out the blue, this one. I changed something in the zigs. I'll show you hopefully when we get this fish in. It went quiet for a couple of hours, and something that I say I've learnt over the years, but something that I learnt when I went to Gigantica out in France a good few years back was that when a cloud cover comes over, to change things up slightly and add a little bit of colour to the zigs, and that's exactly what I've done. And this has only been out there probably about 15 or 20 minutes.
Tearing off, Thomas.
We're not really giving it any stick, to be fair.
Tearing off.
Mozza's very kindly wound my other rod in, obviously to try and avoid any disasters. And playing this one down, it's come up in the water, so obviously the lead clip's done its job again and the lead's dropped off. And hopefully I can coax this one into the net.
Yeah, man, she's in there.
Cheers, Lee.
Well done, Tom. Happy days.
And that showed what a lovely bloke Mozza is, because he could have quite easily given that a little tweak and pulled it off.
Nice!
But he didn't.
Happy days.
I've changed my opinion of Mozza. £15, 8-ounce mirror. Lovely. Another stunning Trent View mirror to further increase my lead over the mighty Mozza. It's now 3 fish to 1. Another one falling to the zig. Like I said, a little change of tactic brought this bite on. I've put the other rod on it now, back out in the zone, and it is looking good for maybe another 1 or 2 more bites. We haven't got a great deal of time left, but it only takes a millisecond for one to decide to pick it up. So another one increases my lead now to probably about 34, 35 pounds. So not home and dry just yet, but it's looking promising.
It's only a couple of hours of the match left, and yeah, I don't think I do these to win them. Obviously, I just do it for the enjoyment. Of course I don't want to win any of these, but they are good laugh, good banter. Banter. And it's what everyone does when they go out fishing anyway. So yeah, I'm not in this to win them. That's my excuse anyway. Although I have had like 3 world champions. I'm not too sure if Tom's a world champion or not. He's a world champion at linear, so that'll do. But yeah, I think I need a veteran or someone to go up against. What's Chili up to lately? Maybe we could have Chili on the next one, or we could get Scott home. We could perhaps pay for his flight for him to come home. Let's get Scott on the next one, I reckon. Yeah, that'll do me. I reckon I'm going to beat Scott. I'm already calling you out there, Scott. Won that one already. But no, they are a good laugh. And like I say, there's only a couple of hours of this left. It could all change. A few 20-pounders in here, and I'm not going to change my ways now. I'm going to stick with my 2 rods on the bottom and 1 on the zig, and see what happens for the end of the match.
Just going to run you through the changes that I made to get that bite. I was fishing in France a few years ago, before the zig liners come out, in fact, and I was catching well on black foam. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. The minute it clouded over, the bites completely stopped. So all I done was I literally cut a little disc of red foam, put it on top of the black foam, chucked it back out there, and the bite started. Now, maybe it's coincidental that it landed in front of a fish and it had it, but who knows? But it was good enough to convince me that, you know, a subtle change like that definitely brought me the extra bite. So I've done that today. Yesterday was bright sunshine. This morning it was quite bright, but in the last couple of hours it has clouded over a bit. So I decided to bring one in, go for a red zigger liner, a black piece of foam, and that is the combination that caught me the fish. So I'm just going to talk to you about the components that I'm using as well. I've got a new zig and floater line, again in 12 pound, but this is trans khaki. Now obviously when you're fishing up in the water, you want to try to conceal the line as much as you possibly can, and this stuff literally disappears. So in my eyes, the perfect zig line. And then on to the business end, hook, size 6, wide gate beak. Now I'm fishing a long way out, I'm fishing high up in the water. The last thing I want to be doing is playing a fish with a tiny little hook in its mouth. Put a decent lump of metal in its mouth and know that when you're playing it, that you've got the best chance possible of landing that fish. Running down to the end, that's going to attach to my leg clip. I've got a nice big loop in the end, figure of 8 loop, and I've got an extra long anti-tangle sleeve as well. And basically the reason for the extra long anti-tangle sleeve is so when I push it up, it's holding away from the leg clip as much as possible. The last thing you want to be doing is looping it onto the swivel. No anti-tangle sleeve. It's basically a recipe for disaster. So that end's going to go on the swivel. That end's going to have a little spray with a little bit of liquid. I'm going to fire it back out into the lake, and hopefully I can increase my lead even more. About 20 minutes to go now, and it's not looking good for Lee. Yeah, it just hasn't happened for him this morning. And yeah, 3-1 up on the scorecard, about £35 in front, but 20 minutes to go. Lee should not give up.
And all three of them, you know, there was
Not
a...
now, Godfew. So that's it then, and congratulations to the ground shaker, Mr. Maker.
Thanks very much.
Well done, got
Another
lucky.
day in the office.
Well, they don't count though when you catch them on zigs apparently.
Well, so I've been told on many occasions, but they did count for the last 24 hours.
They did indeed.
Very good match. Lee fished exceptionally well, and this is living proof that with a tuition you really can teach anyone how to catch a fish.
No, well done,
Yeah.
mate.
Cheers.
Excellent, and I'm thoroughly looking forward to the next Mozza versus. I haven't got a single clue who that person could be, but
Let's hope you win.
let's hope I win.
Good luck.
Cheers, dude.
Thank you.
I could feel the tension pretty quickly, but I didn't feel the strike for probably metre and a half. So 6 foot, 7
Shut
foot
up,
maybe.
Blob.